Imagine this, you're living under the American flag, but you don't have the same rights as someone living in the 50 states. For nearly 4 million people in U.S. overseas territories, this isn't just a thought experiment, it's reality. But why does the U.S., a country that prides itself on democracy and self-determination, still hold on to several overseas territories? Still in the 21st century? Today, we're digging deep to uncover the real reasons behind America's overseas territories. Why do these territories remain under U.S. control, and what does it mean for the people who live there? And trust me, the answers are more surprising than you might think. What are U.S. territories? First, let's get one thing straight. What exactly are U.S. territories? These are regions that are under U.S. jurisdiction, but aren't fully integrated as states. This includes places like Puerto Rico, Guam, American Samoa, and the United States Virgin Islands. Historically, these territories were seen as stepping stones to statehood. The people living there had their rights protected under the Constitution and were promised eventual full political participation. But this all started to change in the late 19th century. The U.S. mindset on territories began to shift, particularly after one major event, the Spanish-American War in 1898. The inevitable outcome of statehood for an American territory ended when the U.S. began acquiring island territories as a result of their victory in the Spanish-American War of 1898 under President William McKinley. Given these acquisitions, the question of statehood became a hotly debated topic, which ultimately came before the highest court in America. In several fractured and contested Supreme Court decisions called the Insular Cases, the Supreme Court created a category of unincorporated territories, labeling these island territories as places under U.S. control that were not on the path to statehood and whose residents could be denied basic constitutional rights. The impact of the Spanish-American War. In 1898, the United States emerged victorious in the Spanish-American War, marking a turning point in American expansion. As a result, the United States gained control over several island territories, including Guam, Puerto Rico, and the Philippines. This expansion was driven by both strategic and economic interests, and it marked a significant departure from the earlier practice of preparing territories for statehood. Instead of integrating these new lands fully into the Union, the U.S. treated them differently. The question of statehood became more complex and contentious, leading to several Supreme Court cases that would define the future of these territories. Strategic military importance. The strategic value of U.S. overseas territories became painfully clear during World War II, especially after the devastating attack on Pearl Harbor in 1941. This event underscored the need for strong military bases across the Pacific to protect the mainland United States and project power globally. In the aftermath of Pearl Harbor, territories like Guam and American Samoa took on heightened importance. Guam in particular became a critical hub for U.S. military operations during the Pacific War. Today, it remains a linchpin in the U.S. military strategy in the Asia-Pacific region, hosting Andersen Air Force Base and Naval Base Guam. These territories allow the U.S. to maintain a forward presence, enabling rapid response to potential threats in the region. The lessons learned from Pearl Harbor continue to shape U.S. military policy, with these bases serving as key deterrents against aggression and ensuring the security of U.S. interests worldwide. Fast forward to today, and these territories are still crucial to U.S. military strategy, which is one of the primary reasons the U.S. still holds on to these territories is their strategic military importance. Take Guam, for example. It's home to Andersen Air Force Base and Naval Base Guam, two of the most strategically important military installations in the Asia-Pacific region. These bases serve as key hubs for U.S. military operations, allowing for rapid deployment across the Pacific. During World War II, these bases played a pivotal role. They continued to be vital in projecting U.S. power in the Pacific. Similarly, territories in the Caribbean, like the U.S. Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico, provide strategic depth in the Western Hemisphere, ensuring the U.S. can maintain a strong presence and respond to crises quickly. Economic and political considerations. But it's not just about military strategy. There's also an economic angle and political factors. While the territories may not contribute as much to the U.S. economy as the states do, they still play an important role. Industries like tourism, agriculture, and manufacturing are vital in these regions. For instance, the U.S. Virgin Islands are a popular tourist destination, while Puerto Rico's agricultural products are key exports. Politically, the territories offer the U.S. a unique advantage. They allow the U.S. to exert influence in various parts of the world without the full responsibilities of statehood. The residents of these territories are U.S. citizens, but they do not have the same rights as those living in the 50 states. This means the U.S. can maintain control and benefit from these regions without granting them the full benefits of statehood. The debate over statehood and independence. The status of these territories has sparked ongoing debates. In Puerto Rico, for example, there have been multiple referendums on whether to become a state, seek independence, or maintain the current status. The results are often mixed, reflecting deep divisions among residents. Statehood could bring economic benefits and full representation in Congress, but it might also lead to higher taxes and loss of cultural identity. On the other hand, independence could give these territories more control over their own affairs, but at the cost of losing U.S. protection and economic support. However, despite the ongoing debates, the U.S. government has been reluctant to change the status of these territories. The fear of losing strategic advantages and economic benefits plays a significant role in this hesitation. Furthermore, statehood would mean extending full constitutional rights to the residents, which could shift the political balance in the U.S. Congress. The strategic and economic benefits of these territories are significant, and any change could alter the political landscape in the U.S., the future of U.S. territories. So, what does the future hold for these U.S. territories? As we move forward, the future of U.S. territories, the truth is, it's uncertain. While these regions remain under U.S. control for now, the calls for change, whether for statehood, independence, or greater autonomy, are growing louder. The decision will depend on a complex mix of strategic, economic, and political factors. As the world continues to change, so too might America's relationship with these territories. But for now, they remain an integral part of the U.S.'s global presence. Now, it's over to you. What do you think should happen to these U.S. territories? Should they become states, gain independence, or remain as they are? Let us know in the comments below. If you found this video insightful, be sure to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into the stories that shape our world.